Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. Garrett Ymer here. Want to let you know the jury is coming in. It appears we have a verdict in the Lawrence Dority trial. Let's listen in.
All right, go ahead and have a seat. State recognize the presence of the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense recognize the presence of the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
Yes.
All right, if you'll go ahead and hand the verdict forms to the court deputy for me. All right, the verdict forms are in order. Madam Clerk, if you'll go ahead and please read the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida, the state of Florida versus Lawrence Dority, case number 2022, CF 5250. Verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of second-degree murder as charged in the information. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 30th day of July. Full person. Special finding as to count 1. If you found the defendant guilty of second-degree murder, you must then answer the following question. We, the jury, find that the defendant did, during the commission of the crime, actually possess a firearm. So say we all, this 30th day of July, 2025, at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, sign the full person. Special finding as to count 1. If you found the defendant guilty of second-degree murder, you must then answer the following question. We, the jury, find that the defendant did, during the commission of the crime, discharge a firearm. So say we all, this 30th day of July, 2025, at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, sign the full person. Special finding, if you found the defendant guilty of second-degree murder, you must then answer the following question. We, the jury, find that the defendant did, during the commission of the crime, due to the discharge of a firearm, cause the death to Adreian Payne. Special finding, if you found the defendant guilty of second-degree murder or manslaughter, lesser included crime, you must then answer the following question. We, the jury, find that during the commission of the crime, a firearm was personally carried, displayed, used, threatened to be used, or attempted to be used. So say we all, this 30th day of July, 2025, at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, sign the full person.
Either party wish to have the jury polled?
The state does not.
Defense does, Your Honor.
Madam Clerk, if you'll poll the jurors for me, please.
Juror number 902, is this your true and accurate verdict? Is this your true and accurate verdict? Juror number 558, is this your true and accurate verdict? Juror number 206, is this your true and accurate verdict? Juror number 4217, is this your true and accurate verdict? Juror number 484, is this your true and accurate verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 693, is this your true and accurate verdict? Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have one final instruction for you, and that is your instruction upon discharge. I do wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges that you enjoy as jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their own private affairs as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives each of you a unique privilege not to speak about your jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request may come from those who are simply curious or from those who may seek to find fault with you, and it'll be up to each one of you individually to decide whether you wish to discuss your jury work with anyone or not, okay? I know that it's been a couple of days and it's been an inconvenience to you to come over here and give of your time, but it is very important to our system of justice and very important part of being an American citizen that we have jurors like you come in and decide these cases for us. For your time here the last 3 days, I do thank you for the efforts that you have put in and the work that you have done. If any of you all need an excuse for work, we will generate that for you that indicates that you have been here for the last 3 days. With that said, that will conclude your jury service in this case. With our sincere thanks, you should not get another summons for at least 1 year from today's date, okay? All right, thank you. All right, Spencer. All right, have a seat. All right, is there any legal reason why we can't proceed to sentencing at this point?
Your Honor, I don't know if the defense is asking for a PSI or asking for a sentencing.
Is he entitled to a pre-sentence investigation?
He's not a convicted felon.
He has a prior dealing in stolen property that he's on probation for?
I'm not sure if he's adjudicated guilty on that.
I looked at it. He's a withhold adjudication.
I understand it was a plea of no contest and it was a withhold of adjudication. Have you all reviewed Florida Statutes 921.231?
Not recently, Your Honor. Let's do that now.
Nine 21.31 subsection 1 with respect to pre-sentence investigation reports says that any circuit court of the state when the defendant in a criminal case has been found guilty or has entered a plea of nolo contendere or guilty, so a nolo plea previously would count as a conviction, may refer the case to a Department of Corrections for a pre-sentence investigation. So a nolo plea previously doesn't entitle him to a pre-sentence investigation. The state objection to their request?
I don't have an objection, Your Honor. It's in your discretion.
And the defense is requesting one?
Yes, Your Honor.
What I'll do is I'll go ahead and request the PSI so I can get some additional information. How much time do they normally take for those 30 days? 30 days. I'll go ahead and order a PSI at this point. We'll set sentencing for August 29th, which is a Friday, at 11 a.m. In the meantime, Mr. Dority will be remanded to the custody of the Orange County Sheriff's Office pending sentencing. Further from the state?
Nothing further from the state.
Defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll be in recess.
You see Lawrence Dority there in his suit, being remanded into custody. Deputies putting handcuffs around his wrist there. Sentencing scheduled for August 29th. You heard the defense attorney requesting a pre-sentence investigation, potentially looking for any sort of factors that could impact that. You could hear some crying, some sobbing, it sounded like, in the background of the gallery there, in the aftermath of the announcement of the verdict being read. unanimous verdict of guilty of second-degree murder. You can see some of the emotions on the people in the gallery there. There is the girlfriend of Adreian Payne, who testified yesterday and had her story called into question by Lawrence Dority, who testified later, by the defense attorney in his closing statements as well. But the jury took about an hour and 40 minutes, hour and a half, hour 40 minutes to return that verdict. They began their deliberations shortly after 11:07, when the jury retired to begin those deliberations. We did hear a question from the jury about an hour later. They had a question about the time the officer arrived at the scene, and then another 45 minutes or so when that verdict was read. You see family members, loved ones who are still in the gallery there. Obviously going through a lot of emotions, as they have over the past 3 years since Adreian Payne was killed in May of 2022. And just a moment ago, we saw Lawrence Dority remanded into custody. The prosecutor there making the argument earlier today that this was not self-defense, as the defense had argued. They were saying that this, under Florida Stand Your Ground law, that this was a justifiable homicide, and the jury disagreeing with that. Now we wait to see what the sentence might be for Lawrence Dority, and you can see some of those emotions catching up with Tara Walker. I will note that Dority was charged with second-degree murder. He could have been convicted of that. He could have also been convicted on a lesser charge of manslaughter, or the jury could have come back and found this as a justifiable homicide. But again, it took them only about an hour and a half or so to return that verdict guilty of second-degree murder. Looks like those loved ones of Adreian Payne now being escorted out of the courtroom here. The prosecutor following behind, and we will likely lose our court feed here in just a moment. But we do want to let you know that we will have streaming coverage of that hearing coming up on August 29th again, where we expect to learn more about his sentence and the penalty Lawrence Dority could face.